I've described this experience here on the Gig Geezer channel, and I've described this experience in private, in which I shared how my J school instructor, Bob Giles, gave us this assignment in which he wanted us to go out and talk to real people. Real people in terms of like policemen, firemen, paramedics. He said talk to pimps, prostitutes. I did it on cab drivers. And his emphasis was real people. He wanted to hear real stories from real people. And so today, while I did a gig app opportunity, it was actually on the Bungee app. I had an opportunity in which I delivered some tile out to Florence, South Carolina. And this opportunity involved 4 of the guys. And I decided as I was going to the pickup location that I would do something among these guys. And what I did was, once I got there, 3 of the guys I'd done previous bungees with, and a 4th guy I met for the first time today. I asked them if they could give me some time once we completed, unloaded everything, about 15 minutes of their time to participate in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. The guys' names are Damon, Rob, Robert, and Mac. Mac is the person whom I met for the first time today, and the other 3 guys, Rob, Damon, and Robert, I completed bungee projects with previously. So this is a different segment of the Gig Geezer, but hopefully you'll get something out of it. Hopefully you may find it to be interesting and different and maybe refreshing. And so with that, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. This is a different Gig Geezer segment. I'm actually on location in Florence, South Carolina. I just completed a bungee with 4 of the gentlemen. I got right here Robert, I got Damon, I got Rob over there, and I got Mac. And I'm going to start off by pointing out that most of these guys recognize me as Gig Geezer. Oh, Gig Geezer, man. like Mac over here. And then Damon's like, oh, man, I've been checking out your stuff.
I was just calling your name. I was like, Geezer.
But this is really not about me. What I want to do is just do something different here by featuring some other guys in my market, the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area. And just talk about what it's been for you in doing your personal enterprise. I'm the one who says it's not cargo van business, it's delivery and transport. And, just what it's been like for y'all. You can just jump in. Damon?
It's been good for me. My start, it wasn't hard. My first month doing bungee and the other gig outs, they were good.
Okay.
Now my MC number's over 3 months, so I'm trying to figure out other things I can do. But gig outs, all the gig outs, they've been good for me so far.
So
the
far?
Ones that I'm on.
Okay.
I'm not on all of them. There are a couple more that I'm not on. It would have been better for me if I was on all of them.
Right.
But some of them I didn't get accepted to.
Now, I met Damon on a bungee run in which we delivered some furniture. And at the time, Damon was telling me about his MC number. It had not yet reached the 90-day mark. And he talked about doing flatbed, but then he decided to get a van. Robert over here, I met him also on a bungee. And we did one to Orangeburg, I think, the first time. It was an easy one.
Yes.
Easy one. Easy. We were done in 15 minutes. Wow. But yeah, less than 15 minutes. But Rob, you do some delivery transport.
Yes.
You do some courier stuff or for a carrier, right? But you try to do mostly yourself, right?
Yeah. So I have a shipper out of Charlotte that I do the bulk of my earnings with, and then I use the gig apps to kind of fill in the space. And so my brother runs the trucking side of the business, so I try to stay as far away from that as possible. That's where all the headache is at. But he does well with it. It's just not my thing. I like more of a hands-on, get in there and get it done. Not have to count on another driver.
Right.
With this, I can take care of it myself.
Yeah, you're responsible for yourself and yourself only. Now, Rob, I also met Rob on a bungee. First time we met was doing a furniture one at a Big Lots. And Rob has a background of being a broker,
Right,
among other things.
right.
Among other things.
Well, you know, I was over the road trucker for about 16 years, and I did some local dump truck work, gasoline, regionally. But it's been since 2012 that I went out on my own after being an employee for a broker.
Right.
And started my own gig, and things were great. They were great for a long time. And COVID hit, and it started a downhill trend, and it got really much worse third quarter of last year. And rather than lay my people off, I chose to find some other avenues to make some revenue, so I could not pull out of company money.
Right.
And prolong everything at least until I've exhausted every effort, or we just go bust, or everything turns around.
Right.
And my first attempt at making some extra cash was DoorDash, and I did that for a couple of months. I mean, look what I'm dashing in.
Right.
You know, I'm getting 12 miles a gallon in the city. I wasn't making any money, and so.
Oh yeah, you got the big engine. You got the Hemi engine.
Yeah. Finding bungee. I mean, I'm gonna sound a little sappy for a second, but not only did it help me realize better returns for my time invested in gasoline and everything else, I met some awesome people. Bungee drivers are some of the best people I've ever met.
Okay.
So I'm pretty happy with it right now.
Okay, well, this is not so much as like a yay bungee, because if you've seen my stuff, I've been highly critical of them. But
Well, there's, you know, you take the good with the bad.
everybody's got their background. Mac and I just met today, and you mentioned that you were doing driver work for U.S. Foods, right? Or
Well, I've been a delivery driver as well, you know, as far as what I was telling you about. I know how to
right.
get stuff off, you know,
Yeah.
with hand trucks and stuff like that. But I got background making deliveries, truck driver. In fact, I delivered this brick out here. You know, I just worked for a company.
Okay, something else. Okay.
And I got rid of them. I left them 2 weeks ago. And I just got out here and start. I've been had the apps. I've been had bungee and you know, what's the green app you call it? Roadie and stuff like that. So I've been doing that, and this is the third time me doing a bungee.
Right.
I did one bungee 8 months ago, but this has been my second consecutive day doing it, and I enjoy it.
Okay.
Loving it. And like I said, I gave up trucking. Say, man, because I done did DoorDash. I started out doing that 5-6 years ago. Instacart.
Right.
You know, Amazon Flat.
Yeah. So you've done the suite of things.
Yeah, done a lot. So,
Yeah. So guys, with the economy the way it's been, I know that Damon, you said that you've done okay so far based on your situation and all. But I mean, what do you tell folk out here? I mean, folk check out my channel. You know, they ask me questions and all, but I try to portray an accurate picture of things. At least that's the effort that I make. What would you tell folk? Do you tell them don't believe the hype, or just what do you tell them?
I would tell them, don't believe the hype. It is going to take work, and you shouldn't just jump into it without doing your research. I did my research. I already knew most of the stuff I needed to do when I got in, but I see some people say that they haven't done that research and they go get it, man. They can't do anything, not even a gig app, because they don't even know what gig apps to get on. So I say make sure you do your research. But
Right.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I didn't do any research, although I came from a gig app background. I mean, I studied some things, I asked some questions though, but maybe not to the extent as others. I didn't
I
have.
was watching your channel for 3 months before I bought my van.
Is that right?
And others.
Okay.
Some of the other guys, like in Texas and I think there's one in Philly. I watch everybody's channels every day.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, that's why I told you. I told him I watched them yesterday, and like I said, I never
When I ran into your channel, that let me know, like, okay, he lives in my area, I can definitely make some money in this area. Because you were mentioning different apps that are in the area.
Right. But what would you tell folk? What would you tell folk?
Well, when you speak of area, that's very important because the market that you're in was really because what's great for us may not be great for someone else because I came out of the Charlotte market.
Right.
That's where I started my business at. And, I picked up steam and I was booming. And then because of family illness, I had to move to Columbia. So now my market changed.
Right.
And I had to really kind of make adjustments. And when I got here, Bungee was like doing little or nothing here when I first got here. And it was really picking up in Charlotte.
Right.
So, the biggest thing I would tell anybody, if this is what you really want to do, be consistent. Don't get discouraged because there's going to be some times where you're just like, and don't blow your money. You make it, save it, because you're going to have some rough times.
I had a week where I didn't see a job.
Right. So,
On 2-3 days, no jobs, and then on the fourth day, there's just one job.
yeah.
Week's over with after that.
That's right. Keep your money, man, because those days are coming.
Yeah.
It may look all sunny.
So I'm going to ask y'all a serious question. Y'all seen my stuff? I don't know, Rob. Did you ever
I've
check?
never seen it, but I think after this I will.
Okay. But y'all seen where I've shown money earned and all that stuff. And I know that I don't show the actual delivery interaction with people, but do you feel that you've seen enough factual information?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Out of all the content creators, the cargo van space on YouTube, you're the only one I feel is like 100% honest.
Well, thank you.
A lot of these people out there, they'll sell you a dream because they want you to buy their mentorship program so they can lead you out.
Thumbnail on their YouTube video, something to the effect of $1,500 a day,
Yeah.
$500 a day.
Yeah.
That's what it gets you.
So what I'm getting at though, when I've shown the numbers and all, am I being realistic? Am I being
If you show, you can make that.
I think I saw when you
be
did your first
consistent.
broker opportunity.
That was-
the numbers are right.
Yeah, that was in San Antonio last year. Yeah, last year. This opportunity involved delivering this tile here, this tile here. Was it this tile here?
All this down here.
All this tile. And then there's a kiosk across the way that Mac and I delivered stuff into. This type of work, it paid us okay money. I'm going to say okay money for Bungee because Bungee is notorious for some cheap labor. And I know, and I've been critical about it though. But what I'm getting at though is the physical part is that, hey, we're all sweating here, although, we're cooling off now, cooling down.
This stuff is 70 pounds. This stuff is 70 pounds
And awkward.
a piece.
And so what does that mean? What do you tell somebody when they're asking about it, with the physical part with the physical demands?
You're going to have to work.
Yeah, you don't even think about it if you're lazy.
Not at all. This was 8,000 pounds.
Total.
Total.
Everybody carried about 2,000 pounds. So
Right. Yeah, when it's all said and done, we all moved about 2,000 though. So that means physically speaking, it's not saying that you got to be an Olympic class athlete, but you got to be willing to sweat.
yeah, you got to be willing to sweat. You got to be willing to do some work.
It's a physical job.
But there are some opportunities where you don't have to work.
Yeah, that's
some
no
of the
touch.
other apps sometimes I don't have to touch the freight. Or even with Bungee, sometimes when we do our bits, we don't have to touch anything.
I
But
did
on
on
most
most
orders,
orders.
you're gonna have to carry the stuff out. You're gonna have to work.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm almost finished. I've talked for, we've talked about 10 minutes and all. Going back to the money part. Yes, there are some good days. And there are some days that you wonder where your next dollar is coming from.
Absolutely.
And how do you deal with those low points? And what I'm saying is, I've talked about how I've had some sleepless nights. I've talked about how I've had moments of anxiety. I don't have anxiety attacks though, but I've had my moments of anxiety where I feel like my brain is about to explode on me because I'm thinking about so many things. It could be, in my case, more money, more trouble, more problems. But how do y'all deal with the low moments, the low points where there are these days of uncertainty
Well,
or points of uncertainty?
my focus is always looking for the next opportunity.
Okay.
So, You know, if you have downtime, utilize that downtime. Do something positive with it, and that'll keep you out of the negative thought process. You know, you get in there and you start looking. Hey, even somebody doing something as simple like what you're talking about, just looking at your page and saying, hey, you know, let me get some ideas from this guy. I do things like that all the time. Just sit there and I sit down and just write down the apps that these people are talking about. Some of them are not in my market.
Right.
But if 1 out of the 10 that they're talking about is in my market, I'm signing up for it.
Sure. When I'm having them bad days, I do a lot of research too. Another thing I like to do is I'll go to a furniture store and I pass out my car, or I'll sit in one of the front parking spots with my van, and I pass out my cars to people, and sometimes they ask, you deliver this right. Sometimes on the day when the app's not doing anything, I'll do 2 deliveries for $125 a piece. And they take 10, 15 minutes to drop off and take inside. All right.
Well, how about you, Rob? I mean, how long you been doing? You said basically the last year or so for you, Rob.
For bungee,
No, just the gig apps and just doing what you're doing now.
earlier this year when I started DoorDash,
Okay.
probably around April,
Okay.
May.
So have you had those low moments? Have you hit those low moments yet, or has it been somewhat consistent and all?
Yeah, I mean, I have with DoorDash. The low moments happen daily. You know,
Okay.
and people ordering food, wanting you to go 10 miles for $2, and
Right.
you know, you sit there and have enough of that, and then finally you're like, nah, that's okay. I'm going home.
Right.
And then with bungee, it's always been, I just want more.
Okay.
You know, the most gig app deliveries I've had in a single day was 4. I had time to do 2 or 3 more that day.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, if I'm going to leave the house and be out here doing it, I'd like to maximize. So
Right.
that for me is the low point. It's not having enough work.
Okay.
And how do I deal with that? Just keep hanging on until something else comes around.
All right. How about you, Mac?
Like I said, I just continue searching. I get up early in the morning and get on the apps and go out there and make it happen, you know. What I try to do is strategize as far as make the gig apps, you know. I may look for something in the morning,
Right.
pay for my gas,
Right.
you know, for the day. Then after that, I look at everything after that, it's profit, you know, so I can feed my family and, you know,
Right. Right.
try some different strategies. And like I said, this is really my first week out here,
Right.
back into the gig world.
All right.
And so I'm planning on being out here consistent. And, like I said, you know, you guys is amazing, you know, and like I said, just imagine who you run into and kind of people you run into. It's still great people out here in the world, you know, just hearing your stories and backgrounds and just love it.
All right.
And that one last thing, that's something that you just said. You get a wealth of information just from the people that you're working with. You know, you know, this guy might say, "Hey, go sign up for whatever app." You know, you
Right.
don't know anything about it, and you're telling them different things. So we do that all the time. So
Right.
it's a great support system out here.
Right.
I'm with Robert on this one. I have not run into any negativity doing this work out here where you're working with others. It just hadn't happened.
Right. So there you have it. I want to give a personal thank you again to the guys, Rob, Robert, Damon, and Mac. This was something that I came up with, an idea that I came up with as I drove to the pickup location to do this particular project. We all come from different backgrounds, but our goal is pretty much the same, in which when we're out here to make money. It's interesting that ironically, when I make that comment about when I'm out here driving, or while we're out here to make money, it comes from really that project that I did for Bob Giles, in which when I talked to a cab driver, the quote that I always remember him saying was, "When I'm out here driving, I'm out here to make some money." And in some early Gig Geezer segments dating back to 2021, that was what I often said. While I'm out here driving, I'm out here to make some money. Hopefully you got something out of this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. Hopefully you find it different and refreshing. And if you find it to be so, hey, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.